Good morning, Evergreen. Dr. Taylor here, school counselor, Evergreen Elementary. Happy Monday to you and happy National Read Across America Week. This is a very important week for us here at Evergreen. We value books. We understand the importance of books, the need for books. I can think back to even when I was a young child. And I definitely liked math and art way more than reading. But I realized that reading was very important to me, even though I thought I was going to be an art teacher. So I think it's important that kids realize that there's a whole genre of books out there, and you just kind of got to find your niche and find what you like to read about. My big thing was, for those who are a little older, the Pittsburgh Press. For whatever reason, I read the Pittsburgh Press every day as a kid. Mostly the local section and the sports section, but just reading over and over and over. You learn to enunciate and you just see different words and it expands your vocabulary. So there's just so many wonderful things that come out of reading. When you think about reading, you got to ask yourself, well, what am I getting out of it? Especially when you're the third grader who just wants to go outside and play. But you got to look at how reading develops literacy, your brain ability as far as being able to focus more. Your concentration grows from reading. Social skills, because you learn or read about all these different stories of different people interacting, and it actually helps you to socialize, and it helps with your communication skills. Why? It builds your vocabulary. It boosts your memory. It boosts your critical thinking, which we're going to talk a little bit about in this video. Expands your language skills. Sometimes you'll notice people may be a little limited in how they're trying to present their thoughts or their beliefs or how they see things. The larger your vocabulary, the easier it is to put your ideas together in a word format. It actually also develops empathy. Big word there. The ability to understand and feel what other people are dealing with. Books actually help us develop that. It also enhances our imagination. When you think about all the greatness that has come into this world, a lot of it was formed initially in someone's mind. And where did those thoughts come from? A lot of times reading books. So books offer an amazing opportunity for exploration and self-growth. So you just got to find things you like to read. But with it being National Read Across America Week, I wanted to talk a little bit about you guys being critical readers, critical thinkers. That means understanding what you read, breaking down the material. Can you understand it on a larger context? Let me read this to you. Critical reading means that a reader applies certain processes, models, questions, and theories that result in enhanced clarity and comprehension. Let me break it down for you for some of our elementary students. It makes the world easier to understand. The larger your vocabulary is, the more you read about different scenarios. It helps you interpret what other people are thinking. It helps you understand what other people are thinking. So this is why becoming a critical reader helps us in so many different ways. These are a couple of points that I wanted to go over about being a critical reader. Prepare to become part of the writer's audience. The writer has a vision, also known as the author. He has a vision of what he or she wanted the audience to get from the book. It is important to prepare to become a part of the audience. Do you know what you're going to read? Like I said, I always read the Pittsburgh Press. So I kind of knew what I was getting to sometimes when I would read books I wasn't sure about, had no idea. So sometimes it is a good idea to get to know who the author is. 2, you want to prepare to read with an open mind. You can miss a lot in a book if you go into it closed-minded or thinking you know what's already in it, or you already think, well, I know how this is going to end, but there can be so much within the material, within the writing that you can learn from page to page. Consider the title. Oftentimes, the title is a context clue, or also known as foreshadowing of what is going to be coming in the writing. This was a big one for me when I was a little kid. Number 4, read slowly. I was so rushed to get through the material that often when I had to revert back and question whether I comprehended the material, I would miss some points because I was reading so fast. So do you have to read like a tortoise? No. But do you have to speed read? Absolutely not, because you will miss some very valuable points. Take your time. Go back if you even have to. This is number 5. Use the dictionary and other appropriate reference works. I can remember when I was younger, one of the things I liked to do if it was raining outside and there was nothing on TV, I actually would go get the dictionary and just pick a letter and blindly point to words and learn words. It really helped me way more than I thought it would or recognized that it would as an adult. But when I got to college and then got a little older into the workforce, I recognized that I understood synonyms and antonyms and word choices. My word choices were expanded just for my love of looking in a dictionary. You may laugh at that one, but it has proven to be really helpful for me. Number 6, make notes. If you're an avid reader, start jotting stuff down. You might have to come back to a point, or you might not get it in the moment, but then a day later, you might recognize or realize what the writer was trying to present in that actual story. Number 7, keep a journal of all your readings. You'll be shocked how each year or each month, or even as you move through the rest of elementary school or through your K through 12 experience, how many books you actually read. And books, they are a wonderful source of information, but they help create that imagination. So all of these books pour into your imagination. One of the things I wanted you to think about, though, when you're reading a book is stereotypes. What is stereotypes? They are beliefs, thoughts, or views about a gender, race, or class. Now, we have to be careful with stereotypes because they can shape how we see certain genders, races, or class. And sometimes stereotypes are not accurate, and they can give you an inaccurate representation of someone's gender, race, or class. So you want to be sure when you're reading materials, you're not going into it with a small-minded or a stereotyped vision. So that's going to be the word for the day, stereotype. Make sure you're not reading into stereotypes or applying stereotypes, even if you notice in the reading or the writing that the writer is playing into certain stereotypes. We want you to be a critical thinker. We want you to be a critical reader and to be able to decipher when you see some language or writings that are probably going a little too far into leaning into what a stereotype is about a certain gender, race, or race, and you want to be able to know as a reader, that's not accurate, that's not right, that's not fair, that's not true. That's what we want to prepare you for here at Evergreen, to be a critical thinker. So be thinking about gender, race, and class to make sure that the writing isn't shaping your vision inaccurately. And when this comes to a term that I wanted to talk about, implicit message. Let me read this to you. An implicit message is implied rather than expressly stated. An implicit message is a message that uses visuals rather than literally saying or explicitly saying what they mean. An implicit message is one in which communication is not plainly expressed. It is applied. So when we're reading, you almost, as a critical reader, you have to be almost looking for implicit messages. Some are good, but unfortunately, some may not be accurate and can shape you to give you an incorrect view of someone's race, gender, or class. And as an informed reader, you're going to be able to pick those implicit messages out of all of your readings. Now, you got to ask yourself, how do they shape the reader? What are you getting out of the reading? What does the author or writer want you to walk away from the writing knowing, thinking, or believing? Now, when they wrote the article or book, they had a belief or thought of what they wanted you to get out of the book. But you're a critical reader. You're a critical thinker. So you also ask yourself, what did I take out of this book? What did I take out of this writing? What did I learn? Was what the book stated, was it accurate? Was it what I've observed in this world? Is this how I view my friends, my family, my schoolmates? Talk to people about maybe some of the things you've read and bounce some ideas off. So make sure you're having the full context of a reading. So remember, when we're talking about stereotypes, stereotypes are present in the books we read. How do these books reinforce or break down stereotypes? Ask yourself, are we building up or are we breaking down in certain writings? Next, how can reading critically help us become better readers and people? As I was saying at the beginning of the video, reading helps shapes us in so many ways now and when we get older. Who knew on a rainy day 35 years ago when I used to pull out the dictionary and just read words, and my sister just thought that was the funniest thing ever, helps me to this very day in everything that I do at work. How can we as readers challenge stereotypes common in literature? Literature goes in many genres, and writers have many beliefs. But it's important that you understand what you're reading, what you believe about the reading, what you believe is true or not true about the reading. Last, how is reading books critically similar to or different from reading other types of media? As I mentioned, I read the Pittsburgh Press. You guys don't know what that is. Interesting enough, about 10 years ago, I became an avid reader. I was in my 30s when I became an avid reader. And for about 5 years, I was reading about a book every 2 weeks. It was just something that kind of developed in me. And I found a passion for certain genres of books, but I still read the sports every day. But guys, I wanted to talk to you today about these things because this, again, is National Read Across America Week, and we just want you to recognize the importance of books. I know sometimes play and going outside and riding your bike and doing your favorite sport is what you want to do, but you want to make sure you're always taking time to read, understand implicit messaging, and be a critical thinker. Welcome, Evergreen. Thank you for this time. Now, go pick up a book, then think about what that book was trying to tell you. Stay safe, stay well. Talk to you soon. Dr. Taylor, I'm out.